the twins, Castor and Pollux. See them?
Yeah, I see him right there. I see him.
They are in Gemini, and we can find some deep space objects there in the telescope. From there, you can find the constellation Cancer, which has some cool star clusters we can find with the scope.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go to the scope and find these things.
March is a great month to explore the constellations Gemini and Cancer. Cancer is not a very bright or big constellation, but there are really nice deep space objects to find with your telescope. A good starting point to find Cancer are the bright stars Castor and Pollux. Castor and Pollux are known as the twins and are part of the constellation Gemini, which means the twins. Gemini is located northeast of Orion. Cancer is then just east and slightly south of Gemini. Follow the twins, Castor and Pollux, to the southeast, and you will find Cancer.
Castor and Pollux are not twin stars in the astronomical sense, but instead are twins from Greek mythology. Castor and Pollux were very close their entire life. Castor was a great horseman and fencer. He even taught Hercules how to fence. Pollux was a great boxer. Among their many adventures, they sailed with the Argonauts in search of the Golden Fleece. They were patron saints to sailors, rescuing many a shipwrecked sailor. One day, the twins got into a fight with two others, and Castor was killed. Pollux did not want to live without his brother, so Zeus agreed to put them in the night sky together for all eternity. To the Chinese, Castor is yin and Pollux is yang. Together, yin and yang keep all things in harmony. Right next to the twins, you'll find Cancer, which means the crab in Latin. When Hercules was fighting the Hydra, his wicked stepmother Hera sent a crab to distract Hercules and hoped that it would help the Hydra kill Hercules. Hera then put the crab in the night sky, even though it failed at helping the Hydra. In another story, Hera did not put the crab in the night sky, but instead Hercules kicked them into the sky.
Let's start our exploration in Gemini. Castor is not one star, but in fact it is 6 stars. With the naked eye it looks like one star, but in a small telescope it looks like a double star. You can't tell in a small scope, but each of those 2 stars are also binary stars. So there are 4 stars there. Then there is a small companion star that is also part of the system. That star is also a binary, bringing the total to 6 stars. M35 is an open cluster. It is a magnitude 5.3 and covers an area about the size of our moon. NGC 2392 is the Eskimo Nebula. It can be seen using a small telescope. The Eskimo is a planetary nebula, the gases being thrown off of a dying star similar to our Sun. Another nebula you can find with your scope is NGC 2371 and NGC 2372. It is located southwest of Castor. It appears as 2 objects, that is why it has 2 NGC numbers, but it is really only 1. Appropriate for the constellation Gemini, don't you think? Now let's move over to Cancer. Here you will find 2 Messier objects. M44 is an open cluster, the Beehive cluster. It has a magnitude of 3.7 and can be seen with the naked eye in dark sky areas. It is one of the nearest clusters to Earth. It is one of the first objects Galileo observed with his telescope in 1609. He made out 40 stars. Today, we know there are over 1,000. Over 60% of the stars in the Beehive are red dwarfs, and about 30% are similar to our Sun. The other Messier object in Cancer is M67, also an open cluster. But where the Beehive is estimated to be around 600 million years old, M67 is between 3.2 and 5 billion years old. It is one of the oldest clusters known. It has a magnitude of 6.1, and most of the stars are similar to our Sun. But it also contains some red giants. Now, let's take a look at what's up in the southern hemisphere. We will turn our attention this month to the constellation Vela. Vela has many cool deep space objects to find.
Vela means the sail of the ship. Vela was once part of a huge constellation called Argo Navis. Argo Navis was named by the Greek astronomer Ptolemy in the 2nd century. The Argo Navis represented the ship Argo that Jason and the Argonauts sailed on the search for the Golden Fleece. But Argo Navis was far too big for the astronomers, so in 1752 it was divided up into 3 separate constellations.
Vela is a great place to explore. Like Castor and Gemini, Vela has a 6-star system. The star Gamma Velorum appears to the naked eye as a single star, but is actually a system of at least 6 stars. The primary star is Gamma Velorum A, a Wolf-Rayet star, meaning it is a huge massive supergiant that has very strong solar winds. It will probably go supernova in the not-too-distant future. Another old star, the red giant V390 Velorum, is in the process of throwing off its dust and gases, and has already formed a disk of dust that will become a planetary nebula. NGC 3132 is the 8-burst, or Southern Ring Nebula. It has a magnitude of 9.87. At the center of the nebula are 2 stars, one of which is a white dwarf that is throwing off ultraviolet radiation. The Vela supernova remnant is what is left of a supernova that exploded about 12,000 years ago. It has a magnitude of 12, so it is harder to find in small scopes. Within the remnant, you will find the 12-magnitude Pencil Nebula, NGC 2736. The Pencil Nebula is long and straight, resembling a pencil, thus its name. The shape is caused as a supernova shock wave hit a region of dense gas in space. The remnant is also home to the Vela pulsar that is emitting radio, optical, X-rays, and gamma rays. The pulsar is from the neutron star that originally blew up to create the remnant in the first place. The Vela supernova remnant is actually only a part of the Gum Nebula. The Gum Nebula was discovered by Colin Gum in 1952 and is the largest nebula in the sky, stretching over 800 light-years across. It is probably a remnant of a supernova that exploded over 1 million years ago. If you have a large scope, use a wide-field eyepiece and try various nebula filters. For those of you with smaller scopes, never fear, Vela has some objects for you to explore. Along with the 8-burst nebula, smaller scopes can easily find NGC 2547, a magnitude 4.7 open star cluster. It is 2,000 light-years away. Then, aim your scope towards a nice globular cluster, NGC 3201. It is 16,000 light-years away and has a magnitude of 8.24. IC 2391 is another open cluster in Vela. At magnitude 2.5, you can actually see it with the naked eye.
You might look up and see 2 stars in Vela and 2 stars in Carina that look like they form a cross. Many people have mistaken this for the famous Southern Cross, but it's not the Southern Cross. The Southern Cross is constellation Crux. Therefore, this cross is often called the False Cross. Now let's see where the planets are for this month's viewing. Mercury will be visible just at sunrise, early in the month, but it becomes no longer visible around mid-month.
Venus will be in the evening sky, moving from Pisces to Aries. On March 6th, Venus passes just 1/10 of a degree north of Uranus.
Mars will be in Pisces and seen in the evening sky. On March 4th, Mars will be just 4.8 degrees west, southwest of Venus and Uranus. On March 11th, Mars passes just 0.3 of a degree above Uranus. By the end of the month, Mars will be close to the horizon in the west at sunset.
Jupiter is in Cancer and visible almost all night.
Saturn is in Scorpio and can be seen just after midnight.
Uranus is in Pisces and is visible in the evening sky. Uranus has a conjunction with Venus on the 6th and Mars on the 11th.
Neptune will not be visible this month.
Full moon is March 4th, and new moon is March 20th. So get your scope aimed toward the twins in Gemini, the crab Cancer, and the sails of the great ship Argo, Vela. You'll have some great astronomical viewing.
I found the beehive!
Don't get stung!
Ha ha, I forgot how to laugh.
Until next time, everybody, happy stargazing! Check out our other episodes in the Let's Explore Astronomy series at www.tedcookproductions.com/LEA.
You will find all kinds of cool astronomy topics there.